So with Windows Azure, Azure is Microsoft's cloud platform. And what is the cloud? It's this sort of different way of thinking about how and where you run your code, where you store your data, where you offer your services, and all that good stuff, right? So it's this approach to computing that's about being able to scale either very small or very large, and do it on the same infrastructure with the same set of resources, as well as being able to deliver that to a wide variety of devices and endpoints, et cetera, out there. So one of the other things we often look for with cloud computing is to be able to deal with computing workloads that are more difficult to handle in an on-premise situation, right? So if you're a traditional IT shop, you're running your own data center or something like that, if you have these sort of on and off workloads, right? Sort of the classic example of that is I need to go process a bunch of data, maybe render a bunch of video or something like that. And so I need a ton of processing power to do that, but then once the job is done, I don't need that processing power anymore until the next batch comes through. The problem is from an IT perspective, I have to allocate enough computing resources for the high watermark. And then when that workload's not in use, I have all these resources sitting around, that I've paid for, but I'm not utilizing. Another common problem is that growing fast workload, where I have this sort of maybe unpredictable rate of increase in terms of usage. I came up with this great idea of the pet rock, and I had no idea how great it was going to sell, right? And so as an IT shop, I have to sort of be able to predict that curve and keep ahead of it. And in that case, I'm over-allocated, or if I miss the curve, I'm under-allocated and I'm not performing well. The unpredictable burst is even worse, right? I have some press about my product or something. I get a big burst of activity against my site. Didn't know it was going to happen, and I'm either having to over-allocate or under-allocate for that. And then finally, there's the predictable one, and that's very similar to the on-off. It's just where you know you're going to have troughs, but you have to allocate resources for the high watermarks. And so the idea is that with cloud computing, we're able to more dynamically scale our resources up and down because we're not having to go out and provision actual physical hardware or provision, just even virtual machines in our own data centers. As I go out and talk to a lot of folks, it's interesting to me to find out how on-premise getting a virtual machine in place is often almost as difficult as it is to get a physical machine in place, because you have to go through all the request channels and justifications and here's why I want it and this, that, and the other, et cetera. Whereas in the cloud, you can just sort of go more sort of on a self-service type scenario. Spin up a VM, use it when you're done, shut it down, or even better yet, have it scale for you.